Hello friends, welcome to my channel SushantChessWise. Today we are at the next topic of planning and we are going to see an example where not only we will see how one improves his position, but we will see how one should play against an opponent who is fighting for a draw, okay, who is desperately looking for a draw against us. So this is a very famous example and I'll tell you the players, of course. First, let us see black to play. What should be black's plan in this position? How should he try to improve his pieces? See, right now we can see this knight is really well optimized and rooks are already doubled. White has still not managed to get his a1 rook into play. So black is definitely better here. But you must have noted that this knight on d5 is not going anywhere further. So what black thinks is, why not place it to a better location? The e7 bishop cannot be improved as of now. So many players think of the move c4 here. See, very logical to get c4. But unfortunately after c4, white has nd4 and in spite of the plan, see b5, b4 coming up. Right now the move will be wasted. The queen will have to move and maybe white can go with the move f4 and then soon f5, which might give him some advantage on the king side. Major part of black's advantage is lost over here. Thus black goes with the move b5. See, not only gaining space, he takes control of the c4 square with the pawn, and see this knight is now heading from b6 to c4 and the doubling of rooks will be very useful. So from the point c4, the knight looks to either a3, b2, d2 and the important e3 square. When I was going through the game, I thought that perhaps white had to play the move c4 here. But see, after c4, pawn takes, knight b6, queen goes back, and here see it looks like black has not made much progress. The c5 pawn is isolated, but nevertheless see black has the move queen a4. He has a lot of space, you can see, and now the rook on a1 is really tied down, a2 is weak, queen eyes d1 means this bishop cannot move. And after b3, black has see queen a3 and see the plans here. Pawn is heading to c4, the rook is eyeing d1 means this bishop cannot move because after double take on d1, last queen will take on the a2 pawn. So that will be a good position for black. Thus white decides just to wait and prepare for the upcoming endgame. So she goes king f1 rather, and after king f1, black played as intended. Knight b6, bishop moves away. Instant bishop g5 is suggested by many, but simply after takes h6, the knight can be driven away. And you can also see after taking on d1, this queen can enter to e4, very similar to the game. So bishop f4, h6, controlling the g5 square, mainly clearing the back rank. Immediate rook d1 was no good. White goes rook d7, and rook d. All exactly as black wanted. This was the trap set by black. Black had nicely encountered that white is trying for these exchanges, and this is the position with black to play and win. Proper calculation is required. White at least loses one pawn in all the variations. Do try to calculate from here. See, this is exactly what happens. The opponent was so desperate for a draw, he allowed the opponent queen to penetrate. See, after qd1 comes the good move queen e4, and now you see that the queen is heading to either b1, c4, or in some cases wins the e5 pawn. Let's see how. Let's say bishop moves away to d2, then just knight c4, see e5 and b2 both are attacked, and after b3, knight e5, queen e5, black is clearly better. Very similar is see bishop e3, same story unfolds in c4, and again e5 is lost or b2 is lost. If bishop c1 is played to guard b2, then too there is a very interesting tactic, qc4 check. The point is, see, queen e2 is coming now, then after a2 you will see that b5 is lost, but after queen a2, qb5, black had seen the move qb1. See, the bishop is pinned and next move it will be taken. So yet again we can see the proof that A positional point is proven by small tactical ideas. The queen c wanted the e4 square, which she got, and the reason being c, if it is not allowed, then at least a pawn is lost. Anyways, white played bg3, perhaps the best of the defenses. Queen c4 check, queen e2. Now see, if queen a2, then queen b5 will be taken. What would you play as black here? I think you must have noted by now. Queen e2, ke2 and knight a4. The pawn on b2 is lost and the endgame is close to winning, and we will see how black plans this endgame. King comes closer. Let's say b3, then just nc3 followed by a2 will also be taken. So of course king d2, knight b2, kc2, knight c4, and because of this menacing knight position, white decides to play knight d2 and black accepts the exchange very happily. So the bishop endgame would be easier to convert. So black pounces on the opportunity, knight d2, kd2. And what would you plan for black here? What is the best way to improve his position? We want the move also and roughly the idea how black is trying to improve the position. See, many players suggest the move here kh7, okay, which is really not great because king is trying to come from this side, which looks very fast, but if you must see that after bishop f4 and g4, the king will not get any entry points, because whenever black attacks with, let's say, h5, white will just do h3 and hold the pawn on g4. So firstly, black plays c4, very simple point. The pawn guards the white squares and the bishop is controlling the important black square. And the king, as you can see from these arrows, wants to reach the c6 square from e8 d7, and that will help him win the game easily. The main plan is to play where our extra pawn is, and here black wants to use a5, b4 and create a passed pawn on the queen side. So bf4, white sets a small trap here. Now the both bc5 and bg5 moves are blunders. So let's say bc5 here. Do try to calculate. White equalizes with the move be3. Strange but true. See, allowing the exchange of bishop, which is what black wants. But see the king placing after be3, ke3. The white king is active and the black king is far away. So see, kf8, kd4, ke7, kc5, and it is luckily, I would say, that black is not losing. Normally in such cases black would end up losing. Here is the move c a6, because white cannot do kb6. kb6 loses to b4. This is the point. cb c3, otherwise the black position would have really gone away. So white has to play the move a3, which allows black to get kd7 on time, and after kb6 he can allow white to take a6 and place his king to c6, and that should be a drawn game. Totally similar is the line bg5. Here too takes ke3, and the same variation king f8, kd4, ke7, kc5, a6, a3 first, and after kd7, kb6. Black is getting the king to c6. Luckily here the pawn structure on the king side is bit ruined, but still black should get a draw. So the hasty trade of bishops would have led to a drawn position by force. All the advantage would have been lost. So black goes a6, keeps the pawn on the white squares, and now, as I said, this king wants to come to c6 and bishop will soon try to go to c5. So be3 stopping bc5. Now if bg5 there is f4, you can see. So king f8, bishop goes away, ke8, ke3. The king wants to enter kd7, kd4, kc6 attacks the bishop. Bishop goes to a7. What would you play as black over here? This is the last critical position. Again, here there are maybe more ways of winning, but black, who is the master of endgame, uses same technique, simple tactical variations, and the positional idea is given importance. So black plays the move c f5. Many suggest the move bd8, which I think in this case would have won because of the threat of c bb6 check. The bishops would be traded. It will take some time to make the passer, but that should win as well. Black played the very strong c, f5. See the point here, trying to put white in a zugzwang. If the king moves back to e3, then see there is just bc5 check, trading the bishops. If bishop moves to b8, you can see the brilliant bc5 checkmate. And the main critical point, if e takes f6, then bf6 check, king moves and bishop c3. See, this is icing on the cake. This is what happens. The positional idea is always having support of minor lines which give higher advantage. So these are some of the small secrets of positional play, you can say. Now white is just forced to wait. He first goes a4 here, so that ba is met by c. Ba is outright mistake, it will allow kc4. So black waits, g6, f4, h5, just putting the pawns on the white square. Now if g3, then black will go h4 himself, and after any waiting move, there is gh, then bh4 winning. The bishop enters from the other side, and if k e3, then b takes a4. You see that the a pawn wins by force. And of course, ab would be met by kb5. We will come to that. So white played ab5 check in the game, which is actually somewhat worse. Black just goes kb5. See, this a pawn is now menacing. g3 just waits, a5, and here if h3, then black would see just play a4, ke3, and out of many moves here, a3 is simplest, but bc5 and a3 both are winning. After a3, you see the a pawn wins by force. So white went ke3, to which you must have known by now there is just bc5 check. This time the king would manage to the square of the pawn. After a4, there would be kd2. So first check trades the bishop, kc5, and white here decides to resign, because see, you can see the black king will enter from d5, e4 to d3. Generally the passed pawn doesn't win that easily, which is what is the case here. But the passed pawn is used to divert the king away, and then our king will enter. I'll show you the lines. If kd2, then see, first kd5, ke3 stops ke4. Now see, a4, kd2, a3, kc2, ke4. Game over, white just waits, h3 or h4, a2, kb2, kd3, and there is nothing. After king a2, king c3, you can see that the king will just move to d2 here, and the c pawn would just promote to queen. Hence white resigned after the trade of bishops. So this way, if we are able to compare our moves with master players, and then we see what are the points which we are missing and the masters are able to spot easily, that will help us improve our game quickly. I hope you are liking these lessons. Do let me know in the comments below. Thanks for your time.